Welcome to our latest video. What if I reincarnated as Yamamoto Genyakai in Naruto and saved the Uzumaki clan? Are you a fan of Naruto and curious about what it would be like to reincarnate as one of the most powerful characters in the Bleach series? Imagine having the power and knowledge to save the Uzumaki clan from destruction. In this video, we will explore this exciting possibility and take you on a journey through the worlds of Naruto and Yamamoto Genyakai. But before we dive in, please for me, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that naughty bell. I'm the Sensei signing in. The Uzumaki country was enveloped in a thick haze. Within the Uzumaki family's meeting room, the third elder suggested, "We must relocate to a new location and live in secrecy." The first elder disagreed, "Leaving is not an option. They have surely considered our escape, and fleeing now would only hasten our demise. Let us wait for Konoha. They will surely support us once they learn of our situation." The second elder chimed in happily, "Yes, you are right. Konoha is our ally. They will undoubtedly come to our aid." The fourth elder eagerly added, "Just wait until Konoha arrives. We will show Kurigaka, Iwagaka, and Kumogaka what the Uzumaki clan is truly capable of." He could already envision his fantasies becoming reality. The third elder furrowed his brow and responded, "But what about the safety of our people? The longer we stay here, the more vulnerable we become." The first elder nodded in understanding. "I know it's a difficult decision, but we must trust in our allies. Konoha has always been there for us in times of need." The second elder chimed in again, "We must have faith in our village and our allies. They will not abandon us." The fourth elder's eyes glinted with excitement. "Yes, and when they arrive, we will fight with all our might. We will not let our enemies trample over our homeland." The Uzumaki family patriarch, who also held the title of daimyo of the Uzumaki country, watched as the elders discussed their options. Unlike them, he was not naive and fully understood the workings of politics. He knew that the Uzumaki family did not have much to offer Konoha, and therefore, it was unlikely that Konoha would risk offending three major villages just to protect them. The patriarch understood that if the Hokage had been from the Senju family, there might have been some hope, as they had promised to be eternal friends with the Uzumaki family. However, with Sarutobi Hiruzen as Hokage, who was not from the Senju family, the patriarch's hopes were dwindling. He knew that they had to be realistic and face the situation at hand. The patriarch observed the conversation with a stoic expression. Finally, he spoke up, "I understand your concerns, but we must be practical. We do not have much to offer Konoha, and it is unlikely that they will risk offending three major villages for our sake." The first elder looked taken aback. "But surely, our long-standing alliance with Konoha - the patriarch interrupted, "Alliances can only go so far. We must face the reality of the situation. We need to focus on protecting our people and finding a solution that does not rely solely on Konoha's aid." The third elder nodded in agreement. "He's right. We need to think of a plan that takes into account our strengths and resources." The patriarch looked at them with a sense of urgency. "We need to act fast. We cannot rely on others to solve our problems. We must find a solution ourselves." The fourth elder looked uncertain. "But what can we do? We are surrounded by powerful enemies." The patriarch's expression softened. "We may not have much, but we still have our strength, our determination, and our will to protect our people. We will find a way." At this moment, a messenger entered the meeting room. "Patriarch, as per your orders, I went to Konoha to request assistance. I met with the Hokage of Konoha and made the request, but they said they would send support after high-level discussions within Konoha. On my way back, I encountered a team of Konoha ninjas who were stationed at our borders. When I inquired, they told me they had received orders to go to Sunagaka," reported the messenger. The meeting room fell silent upon hearing the messenger's words. "How could they?" said the second elder with an ugly expression. "Not only are they refusing to support us, but they have also removed their army from our borders," added the third elder. "The second Hokage stationed that army on our borders to support us if needed. This is a clear abandonment of our alliance," said the first elder. The fourth elder asked the messenger if he had informed Mito of the situation. "I met with her, but she told me that leaving Konoha may cause other villages to perceive Konoha as a threat, potentially disrupting the peace of the ninja world. As a strategic asset of Konoha, she cannot leave," replied the messenger. Upon hearing this, the faces of the elders turned ugly. They had not expected Mito, who was not just any member of the Uzumaki family, but also the princess of the Uzumaki country and elder sister of the patriarch, to refuse to take action. The second elder chimed in, "We have been allies for generations, and they are breaking their word. This is unacceptable." The fourth elder turned to the messenger and asked, "Did you tell them the urgency of the situation?" "Yes, I explained everything to the Hokage and requested immediate assistance," replied the messenger. The second elder voiced his concerns. "Must we accept the conditions put forth by Kurigaka, Iwagaka, and Kumogaka?" The first elder responded firmly, absolutely not. We cannot give away our sealing technique or our children. Our Uzumaki family is known for a sealing technique, and if we give it away, what value will our clan have in this ninja world? And what of our children's future? We cannot allow them to be treated as bargaining chips. The fourth elder agreed. The thought of how our children might be treated is terrifying. We cannot accept these conditions. The patriarch interjected. We need not discuss this matter any further. As for the issue with Konoha, we must keep it under wraps to avoid causing panic. He then turned to the messenger and thanked him for his report, assuring him that they would take appropriate action. As the messenger left, the patriarch rose from his seat and announced, I will seek counsel from my uncle. Perhaps he can offer some advice. With that, he left the meeting room, leaving the elders to continue their discussion and devise a plan to protect their clan and their values. A century has passed since I arrived in this world through transmigration. Initially, my excitement was akin to any anime fans, if they could visit their favorite anime world. Specifically, I landed in the Naruto universe. However, my joy was short-lived upon discovering that I was born during the bleak Warring States period. Despite this, I believed I could become a powerful ninja with the aid of a cheat, only to realize I had none. Nevertheless, I was born with the purest Uzumaki blood in my family, which made me a genius and allowed me to live up to my potential. At the age of 15, I discovered that the Uchiha patriarch had a son named Uchiha Tajima, who was the father of the dance king Uchiha Madara. Similarly, the Senju patriarch had a son named Bitsuma Senju, who was the father of the ninja god, Senju Hashirama. I lived my life to the fullest, pursuing my passions and even marrying and having a son. However, at the age of 40, I received the devastating news of my son's death. He was merely 18 years old, killed by a clan led by a single cage-level powerhouse. Overcome by fury, I destroyed the clan in my wrath. As I excelled in fire ninjutsu and employed it to annihilate the clan, I was bestowed with the title of Fire God by the world. Madara and Hashirama were born around the same time. Following my son's death, my wife was deeply affected and passed away within 5 years. In response, I retreated from the ninja world and lived in seclusion. My younger brother, who was of similar age to Tajima and Bitsuma, was appointed as the patriarch, as I had no desire to take on the role. His son is the current patriarch, and his eldest daughter, Uzumaki Mito, became the wife of Senju Hashirama. I gave up everything and lived like an ordinary old man who waited for his last days. I relinquished everything and lived out my remaining years as an ordinary old man, waiting for my time to come. However, when Konoha was formally established, I heard a sound and was astonished to find a panel before my eyes, displaying a timer indicating 28 years to come. Therefore, from that day forward, I refrained from participating in any clan-related activities, as I anticipated the day to arrive. Uzumaki Kagetsuchi was remembering his past. At this moment he saw the timer on the panel, 003. 0020010 o'clock ding. Congratulations on your 100th birthday. Ike Brace ding. Congratulations on getting the template of the captain of the 1st Division of the Gate 13 Shijikuni Yamamoto Jinriksai. Ike Brace ding. Congratulations on getting absolute fire control. Ike Brace ding. Congratulations on getting 30% template progress for the first time. Ike Brace ding. Congratulations on increasing your lifespan by 100 years. Right brace. Upon hearing a series of ding ding, Uzumaki Kagetsuchi's heart was filled with shock and disbelief. He could feel a strange energy coursing through his veins, invigorating him like never before. Even mundane tasks, such as walking, now seemed effortless. His eyes widened in surprise as he surveyed the rewards that lay before him. But what took his breath away was the template he had received. It was none other than Captain Yamamoto's, one of the oldest and most powerful Shinigami to have ever existed. As he gazed at the template in awe, he felt his old, worn-out crutch begin to transform. With a flick of his wrist, he could now transform it into the mighty Zanpakuto known as Raiwagen Jaka, one of the most powerful weapons in all of the Soul Society. The sheer power that coursed through his body was almost overwhelming. System generates my panel, said Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. Ding. Generating panel name. Uzumaki Kagetsuchi template. Yamamoto GENRYKSAI 30% strength. Cage level props. Raiwagen Jaka ability. Fire control system. How can I improve my template progress? Asked Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. Ding. The host can meditate on his Zanpakuto to increase the template progress. The system replied. Reasonable, thought Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. The head of the family arrived at a courtyard, which appeared aged and situated in a corner of the Uzumaki family's property, and proceeded to knock on the door. Knock knock. Come in, came a voice from inside. Upon entering, the patriarch beheld an elderly man seated in a chair, with his eyes shut and clutching a crutch with both hands. Despite his age, the man exuded a remarkable grandeur while sitting there. This old man is none other than Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. You know I don't like to be disturbed, boy. Has something happened in the family? Asked Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. I am sorry for disturbing you, uncle. but I want to seek advice from you as our family is facing a huge crisis, said the patriarch of Uzumaki. What crisis you are talking about that even you, a dignified patriarch of the Uzumaki family, can't solve? That you have to ask an old man such as me for advice, said Kagutsuchi. In an infuriated and helpless tone, the Uzumaki family patriarch declared, Uncle Iwagaka, Kurigaka, and Kumogaka are demanding that we surrender our family's sealing techniques and children, otherwise, they will launch an attack on our Uzumaki country and massacre everyone. Who? What gives them the confidence that they could destroy a family? Asked Uzumaki Kagutsuchi with keen interest. Living for 100 years had caused his memories of the events in Naruto to become hazy, and he only recalled a few key moments, not the entire story. The reasons are primarily twofold. Firstly, due to the scarcity of geniuses in the Uzumaki family, I am the only cage-level powerhouse, and even I have begun to feel the effects of aging, which has somewhat diminished my strength. Secondly, Konoha has abandoned us, and not followed the alliance treaty between the Uzumaki family and Konoha, explained the patriarch, his tone heavy with concern. The lack of talented geniuses is indeed a problem. What about Mito? Has she come to offer support? Inquired Kagutsuchi. If my memory serves me correctly, after the passing of Hashirama and Tobirama, she should be the most senior person in Konoha right now. Furthermore, she should be the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, he added. I dispatched a messenger to request her and Konoha's assistance, but she refused, citing that being the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails makes her a strategic asset to Konoha, and she cannot leave the village, replied the patriarch. If she genuinely desired to offer her support, she could have exerted pressure on the Hokage, and he would never dare to defy her, remarked Kagutsuchi. The current Hokage is Sarutobi Hiruzen, a member of the Sarutobi family. If she were to exert excessive pressure on him, it could cause instability in the village, which she would not want to see, stated the patriarch, who was attempting to defend his older sister. No, as the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, she must be the most powerful person in Konoha, and no one would dare to defy her. However, if I'm not mistaken, she shares the same concerns as the Hokage regarding the village's well-being. If she or Konoha supports us, they would offend 3 major villages simultaneously, and if a war breaks out, Konoha would suffer significant losses, which neither she nor the Hokage desires to see, explained Uzumaki Kagutsuchi. Although the patriarch was aware that his uncle's analysis was nearly accurate, he was reluctant to accept it. The Uzumaki patriarch spoke in a sorrowful tone, expressing his uncertainty. Uncle, I find myself in a dilemma. I am unsure whether to send some of our seedlings outside the borders of Uzumaki country, or to fight until the bitter end. Uzumaki Kagutsuchi expressed a strong sense of confidence as he responded to the statement made earlier. Your words seem to imply that a family is on the verge of destruction, but let me remind you that I am still alive and well. As long as I exist, the Uzumaki family will continue to flourish and thrive. You can rest assured that nothing will happen to us as long as I am here to protect and lead our clan. As the Uzumaki patriarch spoke hesitantly, Uncle, but you are clearly Dash. His words were abruptly cut off by Uzumaki Kagutsuchi, who interrupted with a booming voice. At that very moment, a tremendous amount of chakra combined with overwhelming spiritual pressure surged out from his body, leaving the patriarch breathless and struggling to keep his composure. With a look of horror, the patriarch stared at his uncle, unable to fathom the sheer magnitude of the power that was being unleashed by an old man who was well over a century old and could pass away at any moment. The patriarch was left in awe, realizing that age was just a number for the Uzumaki clan, and their powers only grew stronger with time. The Uzumaki patriarch listened intently as Uzumaki Kagutsuchi responded to his dilemma, his voice oozing with confidence. My dear nephew, do not be afraid. The Uzumaki family has survived countless battles, and we will continue to stand strong. We have faced worse threats than this and emerged victorious. The patriarch tried to interject, but Uncle, the situation we face. Uzumaki Kagutsuchi cut him off, his voice booming. I know the situation, but let me tell you this. I am not just some old man waiting for death. I am still here, with years of experience and a powerful chakra within me. As long as I am alive, the Uzumaki clan will not falter. The chakra emanating from Kagutsuchi's body was almost too much for the patriarch to handle, leaving him breathless and overwhelmed. He couldn't believe that an elderly man could possess such an immense amount of power. The patriarch couldn't help but admire his uncle's unwavering strength and determination. With a newfound sense of hope, the patriarch bowed to his uncle and said, "Thank you for your guidance, uncle. I will follow your lead and do everything in my power to protect our clan." Following their conversation, the patriarch left the courtyard and headed towards the meeting room to discuss their next steps. After the patriarch left, Kagutsuchi remained in the courtyard, deep in meditation, as he focused on honing his Raijin Chakra and becoming more familiar with his newfound power. At that moment, within the confines of the Uzumaki family meeting room, the elders sat in a state of profound despair. They had been racking their brains trying to come up with a plan to save their beloved clan from the looming crisis, But so far, all their efforts had been in vain. The room was filled with a tense atmosphere of frustration and helplessness as the elders exchanged worried glances, unsure of what their next move should be. As he entered the meeting room, the Uzumaki patriarch took in the despondent expressions on the faces of the elders and felt a wave of disappointment wash over him. He shook his head in dismay before making his way to his seat and settling in with a heavy sigh. The atmosphere in the room was thick with tension and anxiety as the elders exchanged worried glances and whispered amongst themselves. The patriarch sat in silence for a few moments, taking in the somber mood of the room before finally speaking up. "I know that things look grim right now, but we cannot afford to give up hope. We must continue to work together and come up with a plan to save our family from this crisis. The decision has been made after consulting with my uncle. We have only one option to fight. Therefore, I order all of you to prepare a defensive enchantment that will cover the entire Uzumaki village. Make sure to supplement it with chakra continuously," announced the patriarch. The second elder attempted to speak up, but was interrupted by the patriarch's stern tone. "Follow my orders without questioning them," he declared. The other elders, recognizing the patriarch's authority and sense of urgency, remained silent. With that, the patriarch left the meeting room to oversee the preparations for the upcoming battle. Over the next 2 days, the elders worked tirelessly to fulfill the Uzumaki patriarch's orders. With great effort, they were able to arrange for a powerful enchantment barrier that spanned across the entire Uzumaki village. The barrier enclosed every member of the Uzumaki clan within its protective shield, providing them with a sense of safety and security against the dangers that lurked outside. The elders ensured that the barrier was reinforced with a steady supply of chakra, which would help to keep it strong and impenetrable for as long as possible. At the same time, on the nearest island located near the Uzumaki country, inside a camp sat jonins from 3 major villages, and their commanders were sitting side by side. Although unanimously Konoha isn't going to interfere, these 3 villages also have to give a face to Konoha by not sending any cage-level powerhouse, or else Konoha may also participate in this. Secondly, no leader of the village will be foolish enough to enter other countries' territories. The scouts I sent to Uzumaki country have reported back. According to them, the Uzumaki family has raised an enchantment barrier around their village. This is a clear indication that they have no interest in accepting our offer, spoke Raiden, the commander of Kumogaka. "I have been saying from the very beginning that we should attack immediately. Why waste time? See, they didn't even listen to us, and now we have wasted precious time." Kai, the leader of Kurigaka and also the strongest of the 7 swordsmen, spoke up. "With the Uzumaki family's clear rejection of our offer, we have no choice but to initiate an attack," declared Daichi, the leader of Iwagaka. "Very well. All ninjas are to be informed to prepare for tomorrow morning's march towards Uzumaki country," declared Raiden, signaling the end of the meeting. After hearing Raiden's decision, everyone present in the meeting nodded in agreement and left to inform their respective ninjas to prepare for the upcoming attack on the Uzumaki country. As the sun began to rise, casting a golden glow across the land, each of the skilled ninjas prepared themselves for the impending attack. With unwavering determination, they made their way onto the ship, their hearts beating with anticipation as they set course towards the Uzumaki country, their minds already strategizing the best plan of action for the battle that awaited them. At the same time, inside the meeting room of Uzumaki family, Patriarch the ninja from 3 major villages have started moving, and they must be coming to attack us, said the second elder in panic. "Quiet, even if an elder like yourself starts panicking, then what will happen to the ordinary ninja of our family?" reprimanded the patriarch. "Even if we don't panic, but we have to formulate a plan or something to avoid our extermination," Wote said the third elder. Even though other elders didn't speak, but they also looked to patriarch for a solution. "Okay, don't look at me like that. Uncle said that he will fight himself in this battle, so we can rest assured," explained the patriarch. Hearing the words of the patriarch, every elder present in the meeting room were stunned. They didn't know what to say for a second. The first elder cleared his throat before voicing his concerns, careful not to come off as disrespectful. "I don't mean to be insensitive, but it's worth considering that your uncle's age may be well over a century, if not more. We cannot predict when he may pass away, and it's a risk to entrust him with fighting alongside us, while also expecting him to guarantee our safety. It's a lot to ask," he explained, his tone measured and thoughtful. "Is it?" A voice of great majesty filled the room, causing all heads to turn. At that moment, an old man with long, flowing white hair and a matching beard entered the space, supported by his trusty crutch. As soon as the patriarch caught sight of the venerable figure, he quickly vacated his seat and stood up in deference. The old man made his way to the now vacant seat and settled onto it, commanding the attention of all those present. Seeing such a respectful act of the patriarch, every elder also stood up and bowed towards the old man. "I understand your concerns, first elder, but there is no need to explain. I am well aware of my physical condition, Kagetsuchi interjected, cutting off the first elder mid-sentence. If I say that I can fight, then I can fight. There is no reason to question my judgment, he declared, his voice strong and unwavering. Excuse me, elder, but have you considered that if we were to flee towards Konoha, they may come to our aid as our allies? The third elder suggested, his tone measured and thoughtful. Shem PH, if an ally has abandoned you once, then they can do so again. Let me ask you this. How do you plan to flee with the entire Uzumaki family, including the non-ninja members and children? Are you willing to let them die while you run away on your own? Kagetsuchi questioned, his tone stern and rebuking. Upon hearing this, the elders remained silent, as it appeared that what Kagetsuchi had said was indeed true. Alright, let's stop discussing irrelevant matters. Kagetsuchi inquired about the presence of Chunins and higher-ranked individuals in the Uzumaki family. In response to Kagetsuchi's question, the patriarch replied, "There are 40 Jonins and 250 Chunins in our clan, uncle." Very well. Leave 10 Jonins and 50 Chunins to guard the clan, while the remaining ninjas prepare an enchantment barrier around me and the army for the upcoming fight. We cannot allow even a single intruder to escape. As for the monitoring ninjas, I will instruct them further, commanded Kagetsuchi. Uncle, you cannot confront the armies of 3 major villages alone. I cannot allow it, protested the patriarch. I am not asking you, but telling you. You will remain here with the family and protect them, stated Kagetsuchi in an unwavering tone. I don't mean any disrespect, but look at yourself. At your age, even walking can be considered a luxury. And now you're telling us that you'll fight against the alliance of 3 major villages alone. Are you kidding us? Asked the fourth elder with a slightly angry tone. Uzumaki Kagetsuchi glanced at everyone in the meeting room, except for the patriarch. He noticed that all 4 elders shared the same expression, indicating that they agreed with the fourth elder. Know your place. Uzumaki Kagetsuchi spoke with such intensity that a huge amount of chakra and spiritual pressure was released from his body, forcing the elders to bow their heads to the ground. Is it just my imagination, or is the pressure emanating from Uncle even stronger than before? Wondered the patriarch to himself. If Kagetsuchi had known what his nephew was thinking, he wouldn't have been surprised. In the past 3 days, he had made significant progress, and had become fully acquainted with his newfound power. Template, Yamamoto Jinrikisai, 30.3%. Listen to me carefully, patriarch, said Kagetsuchi, his voice low and commanding. I understand your concern, but I have no intention of abandoning my family. We must face this challenge head on, and I will lead the charge. As for the rest of you, I expect you to follow my lead and do everything in your power to protect our clan. The elders nodded in agreement, their heads still bowed. Good. Now, let's focus on the task at hand. We need to fortify our defenses and prepare for battle, continued Kagetsuchi. Patriarch, I want you to oversee the preparation of the enchantment barrier. Fourth elder, I need you to coordinate with the monitoring ninjas, and keep me informed of any enemy movements. First and second elders, I want you to help me strategize our attack plan. The room fell silent as everyone processed Kagetsuchi's orders. After a moment, the patriarch spoke up. Understood, uncle. We will do everything in our power to protect our family and our village. Good, said Kagetsuchi, a fierce determination in his eyes. Now let's get to work. We have a battle to win. Upon receiving instructions from Uzumaki Kagetsuchi, everyone began carrying out their assigned tasks as directed by him. Kagetsuchi proceeded towards the shoreline, where the 3 major villages were about to disembark. At that moment, a young girl of approximately 6 years old, who was carrying a box, accidentally collided with him and fell to the ground. Ow, 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 exclaimed the young girl as she got back up, gently rubbing her butt to soothe the discomfort caused by the fall. When she looked up, she noticed an elderly man nearby and asked, Grandpa, are you alright? You didn't get hurt, did you? Without a doubt, I am perfectly fine. I highly doubt that a petite and delicate young girl like yourself could inflict any harm upon my person, replied Uzumaki Kagetsuchi, his voice laced with a sense of reassurance and kindness as a warm smile spread across his face, reflecting his amiable demeanor. HMPH. I am not a little girl anymore. Can't you see that I'm carrying a large box? Retorted the girl, her expression a mixture of a pout and cuteness, as she tried to convey her point of view to Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. Uzumaki Kagetsuchi chuckled heartily and said, Ha ha ha, if you're carrying such a massive box that it obscures your vision, then you're still a little one in my eyes. His jovial tone conveyed a sense of playful teasing, and he flashed a warm smile at the young girl. The young girl's face reddened with embarrassment, and she remained silent, choosing not to respond, and instead let out an indignant snort in response to Uzumaki Kagetsuchi's playful comment. May I ask what your name is, little girl? Inquired Kagetsuchi politely, showing a genuine interest in getting to know the young girl. With a friendly smile on her face, the girl replied, My name is Uzumaki Kushina. As Uzumaki Kushina introduced herself, Kagetsuchi's heart skipped a beat as he realized that she was, in fact, Naruto's mother. He couldn't help but wonder if fate would play out the same way it did in his previous experiences. The thought raced through his mind as he gazed upon the young girl before him. "May I ask what it is that you are carrying in such a large box?" inquired Kagetsuchi, his interest piqued by the sheer size of the container that Uzumaki Kushina was carrying. "Oh no, I almost forgot. There are some essential supplies and food items in the box that I need to distribute to the people." "I should get going now," exclaimed Kushina in a hurried tone as she picked up the box and began to run off to her destination. As he watched Kushina run off with the box, Uzumaki Kagetsuchi couldn't help but smile, calling out to her with a friendly reminder, "Be careful on your way, and make sure not to fall again." Following that brief incident, Kagetsuchi proceeded with his voyage toward the shore. However, as soon as he departed from the spellbinding aura that encircled the village, he abruptly came to a halt. Kagetsuchi inquired, "System, if I engage in combat while wearing my current attire, wouldn't it be susceptible to burning? And if I employ Raijin Jaka, wouldn't the risk be even greater?" Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a Shinigami outfit resembling that of Captain Yamamoto. "Light brace," Kagetsuchi commanded, "replace it with my current attire." Following Kagetsuchi's command, a series of swift and seamless alterations were set into motion, culminating in the transformation of his original garb into the distinctive uniform of a Shinigami, complete with all the accompanying details and nuances of Captain Yamamoto's signature style. He persevered on his voyage until he was a considerable distance of 3 miles away from the shore. Kagetsuchi couldn't help but let out a small chuckle as he pondered the staggering numbers of their opposition. "If I'm not mistaken," he mused to himself, "there must be close to 4,500 highly skilled ninjas assembled here, with roughly 1,500 representing each of the 3 major villages. The team formation of each village seems to consist of 30 skilled jonin, 500 skilled chunin, and the remaining force comprised primarily of genin. It's truly amusing to think of the reactions that the people of these villages would have upon learning that their entire contingent, dispatched with the sole purpose of eliminating the Uzumaki, had themselves been wiped out." He employed the mind's eye of the Kagura, utilizing his heightened sensory perception to detect the presence of the numerous ninja, as he patiently bided his time with his eyes tightly shut. Swish! At that moment, the 4th elder, a wise-looking gentleman of around 50 years of age, approached Kagetsuchi and addressed him directly. "Master Kagetsuchi, the team responsible for enchantment is fully prepared to commence their task at a moment's notice. All that is required is your command to initiate the process." Indeed, Kagetsuchi pondered for a moment before issuing his command. "When the full force of the ninja from the 3 major villages sets foot upon our Uzumaki land, and I begin to engage them in combat, that will be the precise moment for you to activate the enchantment, ensnaring them all within its grasp." With a simple acknowledgement, the 4th elder departed from Kagetsuchi's presence. Having relayed the message to Kagetsuchi, the 4th elder returned to the gathering of elders and informed them of his interaction with the master. "I have duly informed Master Kagetsuchi of our readiness to activate the enchantment." The 2nd elder inquired, his tone betraying a hint of uncertainty. "Do you truly believe that he is capable of facing off against 4,500 highly trained ninjas by himself?" The 1st elder responded, urging his colleagues to have faith in their leader. "We cannot afford to entertain any doubts at this juncture. Now is the time for us to place our complete trust in him." With a collective sigh, the rest of the elders resigned themselves to the situation, recognizing that they had done all they could, and the rest was simply a matter of fate. And that concludes our video. What if I reincarnated as Yamamoto Genyusai in Naruto and saved the Uzumaki clan? We hope you enjoyed exploring this exciting possibility with us. As we saw, reincarnating as Yamamoto Genyusai in the world of Naruto would give us the power and knowledge to save the Uzumaki clan from destruction. It's been a thrilling journey through the worlds of Naruto and Yamamoto Genyusai, and we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting content. I'm the Sensei signing out. Never tell a fact that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn, no, I got stacks to the left. Taking bitches straight for another cat.